By that time, what you can do is those who have joined the class, please give your attendance in the chat box. I will start the class by 9:23 a.m. I will wait for 2 more minutes so that people can get joined, and by 9:23 a.m. I will start the class. Okay, it is around 9:23 a.m. Let us start the class. Let me present my screen first. Can anyone respond whether you can see my slide or not?
Yes, sir, we can see your slide.
Okay, fine. So let me give you a brief summary of what we discussed in the last class. We started module number 2 with the discussion of design of any machine member or any machine component when in that component a static load is acting. Then we discussed about different modes of failure. If I give you a mechanical component to you, and if I tell you that in how many ways that mechanical component may fail, that also we have discussed. That is, there are total three types of modes of failure are there. One is your first one is your failure by elastic deflection. Second one is failure by yielding, and third one is failure by fracture. We discussed some examples of all the three possible types of failure. For example, in failure by elastic deflection, we took the examples of buckling of columns, transmission of shaft. Then we have seen that which equation is applicable for failure of such mechanical component. Similarly, while discussing the failure criteria by general yielding method, we took the example of simple stress strain diagram. That is, if we took any simple ductile material and if we test that ductile material in UTM, then by general yielding method, that material will fail, that we discussed over here. And in failure by fracture, we told that brittle material normally shows such kind of fracture. That means there will be no yield point. After some, if you put this material in UTM, after some time that material will fail with the maximum limit as the ultimate strength point. After that, we also discussed about the if on a body or in a machine member combined load is acting. Then how to design that machine member? That combined load can be a combination of tensile load and bending load. It can be a combination of bending load and torsional load. It can be a combination of tensile, bending and torsion load. So if in a machine member a combined loading is acting, how to design that machine member, that also we discussed. And also we discussed the term called factor of safety. What is factor of safety, why it is important in design, and what is the mathematical expression for factor of safety. I guess till this much part we have discussed in the last class. If anyone can respond. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So let us continue our discussion from where we left in the last class. Next is, let us discuss about the different factors on which this factor of safety depend. If I take any machine member, then on the basis of that machine member, how I can say that whether the factor of safety should be high or whether the factor of safety is low or whether it is moderate. So there are some factors on which factor of safety depends. I will discuss the first four factors. Remaining factors, since it is a theoretical part, you can refer it from the book also. Fine. So basically, there are total 9 factors on which this factor of safety will depend. Those 9 factors are: first one is your effect of failure. Second one is the type of load acting on the machine member. Third one, degree of accuracy in force analysis in the machine member. Fourth one is the material of the component which you are designing. Fifth one is reliability of the component. Sixth one is cost of the component. Seventh is testing of machine component on the basis of different types of testing methods also. Factor of safety depends. Service conditions, how much service your machine is giving. On the basis of that service condition also, you can decide whether the factor of safety is to be taken low or is to be taken high. And the last one is quality of the manufacturer. So let us discuss the first one, that is the effect of failure. On the basis of this effect of failure, how factor of safety will vary. Factor of safety will be high in applications where failure of the machinery parts result in serious accidents. Effect of failure is what? A machine part, if it is failing very quickly, then you should know how to, or what will be the value of factor of safety. If the machine member is failing after a long period of time, then you should know what should be the range of factor of safety. Fine. So if the machine member is failing very quickly, that means that machine member is that machine member is very prone to accident. Accident can take place at any point of time. Is if the failure is taking place quickly, in that case designer should know that factor of safety should be high. Whereas if you take any material in which the failure is taking long time, in that case you can assume factor of safety to be moderate or to be small. Is it understood? कोई डाउट है किसी को?
No, sir.
Okay. Second one is type of load. Now, on the basis of type of load, how you will decide what will be the value of your factor of safety. Normally, factor of safety is taken high when impact load is acting on the machine component, because impact load is a suddenly applied load which is acting on the machine component at high velocities. There are many type of load which can act in a component. Fine. Gradually applied load, suddenly applied load, impact load. I know that impact load is a load which act on any machine member from a certain height. from a certain height. If you apply, for example, you are having say a plate, you are having a plate, and if you are having a ball, fine, and if you try to release that ball from a certain height on a plate, then the type of load that the plate will be experiencing due to that ball will be impact load. Since you are releasing that ball from a certain height, that means that load will be reaching to the plate or will be striking the plate at some velocity. In that case, you have to take factor of safety of that plate material little bit high. If you won't take high, your material or your plate can fail within few minutes of time. So, on the basis of load criteria, you have to decide for which type of load what will be the range of factor of safety. Is it clear? Hello?
हाँ सर.
Fine? Okay, okay, okay. Now, if I talk about degree of accuracy in force analysis, now I have explained the first part and the second sub point. Can anyone explain that on the basis of degree of accuracy in force analysis, how you will decide what will be the value of factor of safety? बोलो क्या लगता है कि डिग्री ऑफ एक्यूरेसी इन फोर्स एनालिसिस, अगर किसी मशीन कंपोनेंट को आप एनालाइज कर रहे हो, मतलब क्या उसका फोर्स एनालिसिस कर रहे हो, तो उस हिसाब से कैसे फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी वेरी कर सकता है, कैसे कम होगा कैसे ज्यादा होगा? एनी आइडिया? ओके. Factor of safety in such cases is to be taken high when machine component is subjected to a force whose magnitude or direction is uncertain and unpredictable. If you are analyzing any machine component, if in that machine component the magnitude and direction of the force is uncertain to you don't know exactly how much will be the magnitude, then in that case you have to take the factor of safety value to be little bit higher end. If I talk about the material of the component, on the basis of material of the component, how factor of safety will vary? We know that if I am taking any particular material for making any particular mechanical component, basically material is are of two main types, whether it is a ductile material or it is a brittle material. So if I am talking about ductile material, I know that yield strength will be the designing criteria, because ductile material fails just after the yield point. So maximum strength induced in any ductile material will be nothing but equal to yield strength. In that case, if I consider ductile material for my design criteria, I have to take the value of factor of safety low. I have to take value of factor of safety low. Why low? Because in ductile material, yielding takes some time to happen. Suddenly yielding will not happen. It will take some time to happen. So in that case, you can assume factor of safety value to be either moderate or low. But in case of ductile brittle material, we know that there is no yielding. There is no yielding. Brittle material fails at the ultimate strength point. That means if you load a brittle material in UTM, fine. Suddenly you don't know. It can fail after 10 seconds also. It can fail after 30 seconds also. It can fail after 1 minute also. You don't know the time. Time is uncertain and there is no yielding. Ultimately it will fail at the ultimate point. So in that case, if you are dealing with brittle material, you have to take the factor of safety value to be little bit towards higher side because the failure is uncertain. In ductile material, failure is certain because from the past experiments we know that yielding takes some time to happen. But in case of brittle material, you don't know when that ultimate point will come. It can come very quickly also, it can come little bit late also, depend on the composition of the material. So these are some of the important factors on which factor of safety depends. The explanation part is given in the book. It is a little bit theoretical in nature. You can refer V.V. Bhandari for the explanation part. Is it clear the different factors of safety on which means for which type of condition what will be the value of factor of safety? Will it be high? Will it be low? Or will it be moderate? Is the topic clear?
यस सर। सर
Any
मॉडरेट
doubt?
तो किसी केस में हो नहीं रहा, वो तो डक्टाइल के लिए तो लो हो रहा है।
हाँ, डक्टाइल के लिए लो है क्योंकि डक्टाइल के केस में मटेरियल कब फेल होता है जब मटेरियल में यील्डिंग होती है और यील्डिंग को होने के लिए कुछ टाइम चाहिए, तुरंत होता नहीं है यील्डिंग। आप देखना जब भी आपने टेस्ट किया होगा, अगर आपने लैब में आपने देखा होगा कि यील्डिंग तुरंत नहीं होता है कि मैंने मटेरियल लगाया मशीन में तो तुरंत यील्डिंग हो गया। अगर तुरंत यील्डिंग हो गया होता है तो उस केस में आपको ज्यादा लेना पड़ेगा, नॉर्मली ये होता नहीं है। जबकि ब्रिटल मटेरियल है उसका जो फेलियर है दैट इज अनसर्टेन, आपको पता नहीं है। आपने मटेरियल लगाया यूटीएम में, हो सकता है 10 सेकंड के बाद टूट गया, हो सकता है 15 सेकंड के बाद टूट गया, तो उस केस में तो जाहिर सी बात है यू हैव टू टेक द फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी वैल्यू टू बी एट हाई एंड in order to make your design safe, in order to make your material safe from failure, from fracture. Understood? Hello?
यस सर।
Hello? Fine? Okay, okay, okay. So let us move. So this is what this much what we have to study in design of any machine component related to static load. Now let us solve some problems, that if in a problem or if a machine member is subjected to some static load, how to design that machine member. Fine. Okay, let us solve. Can you see the problem? Can you see the problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Let us read the problem. Problem is an offset. This is one of the solved examples of V.V. Bhandari. An offset link subjected to a force P. This is the link given in the diagram. It is subjected to a force P of 25 kilonewton shown in the figure. That means this is one end of the link, this is other end of the link. Both the end is subjected to a load or to a force of 25 kilonewton. It is made up of grey cast iron FG300. Now what do you understand by this term? This link is made up of grey cast iron FG300. That means what did you understood? इससे क्या समझ में आया कि लिंक का जो मटेरियल है वो ग्रे कास्ट आयरन है, उसका ग्रेड है FG300। इससे क्या समझ में आया? मैंने बताया था आपको फर्स्ट मॉड्यूल में ग्रेड से क्या होता है, FG क्या होता है, 300 क्या होता है, मैंने बताया था। तो क्या समझ में आया FG300 से? FG means the material of this link is grey cast iron, and I know that cast iron is a brittle material. So this 300 is what? This 300 is what?
Ultimate strength.
Yes, this 300 is the ultimate strength of this material. This link is made up of cast iron whose ultimate strength is 300 Newton per mm square. 300 Newton per mm square. That means if due to application of this load, the stress in this link, if it becomes 301 Newton per mm square, my design will fail. As a design engineer, I have to keep in mind that You can apply whatever amount of force or whatever amount of load at the two end of the link, but make sure that due to this load, whatever stress will be generated in this link, it should be either equal to or less than the ultimate strength of the material. Then only my design will be safe. Fine. And factor of safety is 3. FOS is 3. Determine the dimensions of the cross section of the link. And from the diagram, it is very much clear that cross section of the link is rectangular, whose depth is 2 times of t and whose width is t. That means cross sectional area will be t into 2t, that is 2t square, and I have to find out the value of t. How much will be the value of t, keeping in mind that I have to make this design safe. I have to always, you keep in mind that whenever you are designing any problem, you have to find out the dimensions of that problem, keeping in mind that that dimension should be the safest dimension. Fine. Okay. So let us solve the problem. Did you understood the problem? प्रॉब्लम समझ में आया? क्या दिया है प्रॉब्लम में, क्या निकालना है?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us solve the problem. What is given to me? Load P is equal to 25 kilonewton, which is nothing but 25 into 10 to the power 3, that is 25,000 Newton. SUT, ultimate strength, is 300 Newton per mm square and factor of safety is 3. Before starting any design problem, the first and foremost step is calculation of permissible stress for the entire problem. My problem is nothing but a link. Now for this link, what is the permissible stress? That means beyond this stress value, if I apply any more stress, my material will fail. That means maximum possible stress that this link can sustain due to the application of this load P and due to this material grey cast iron FG300. How I can find out? I know the formula of factor of safety, that factor of safety is equal to failure stress divided by allowable stress. I need to find out the value of failure stress first. That means at which particular stress value my material will fail. So that it will be very much clear to me in my mind that whenever I am designing, I have to keep the stress value lesser than that of this failure stress value. So how to find it out? Then that will be nothing but that is your allowable stress is equal to failure stress divided by factor of safety. If you cross multiply it, your allowable stress will be equal to failure stress by factor of safety. In the given question, since it is a brittle material, so my formula becomes max allowable stress or permissible stress is equal to SUT by factor of safety. SUT is given in the problem, that is nothing but 300 divided by factor of safety is 3. If I will solve it, I will get the allowable stress value to be 100 Newton per millimeter square. Is it clear? क्या कोई डाउट है स्टेप नंबर 1 में किसी को? Hello.
No, sir.
Fine. So every time you have to do this process. For each and every problem, first step is calculation of permissible stress or allowable stress. So that if you apply any more stress value more than that of allowable stress, your design will fail. That means for this problem, you have to keep in mind that whenever you are designing for whatever value, for whatever cross section, your stress should not be more than 100 Newton per mm square. This is step number 1. Next step. Second step is From the given problem, you have to identify that due to the application of this load P, how many type of stresses are acting in the given problem. क्या कोई मेरे को बोल सकता है ये प्रॉब्लम देख के कि इस लोड P की वजह से कितने टाइप के स्ट्रेस जनरेट होंगे? क्या एक ही टाइप का स्ट्रेस जनरेट होगा या एक से ज्यादा टाइप का स्ट्रेस जनरेट होगा इस पर्टिकुलर क्रॉस सेक्शन पे? इस पर्टिकुलर क्रॉस सेक्शन पे बोलो। बोलो।
एक ही होगा सर।
एक नहीं होगा, दो होगा, ध्यान से देखो। दो टाइप का स्ट्रेस जनरेट होगा ड्यू टू दैट लोड P। अगर आप ध्यान से देखो इस प्रॉब्लम को, ये जो लोड P है, जो लोड P अप्लाई किया हुआ है एट द बोथ एंड ऑफ द लिंक, ये इस लिंक को सीधा करने का कोशिश करेगा। अभी लिंक टेढ़ा है कि नहीं है?
हाँ सर।
देखो मैं समझा देता हूँ, वेट। ठीक है, कैन यू सी माय मी? मेरा वीडियो दिख रहा है?
हाँ सर।
ओके, अभी लिंक ऐसा है, अभी लिंक ऐसा है, ठीक है, अभी लिंक ऐसा है। आपने इस डायरेक्शन से एक लोड P यहां अप्लाई किया, इस डायरेक्शन से एक लोड P यहां अप्लाई किया। अब इस लोड P की वजह से क्या होगा? अब ये जो टेढ़ा है ये लिंक, ये इस पर सीधा करने का कोशिश करेगा। अगर सीधा करने का कोशिश करेगा मतलब टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस जनरेट होगा इस प्रॉब्लम में। पहला तो ये क्लियर हो गया, क्लियर हुआ?
बेंडिंग स्ट्रेस भी होगा।
ठीक है, टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस जनरेट हुआ ड्यू टू दिस लोड P और इसमें बेंडिंग भी होगा। अगर मैं इस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन को देखूं, ये मेरा न्यूट्रल एक्सिस है, दिस लोड P इनटू हाउ मच? लोड इनटू परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस 10 प्लस 2t/2, दिस इज न्यूट्रल एक्सिस। ठीक है, इसके अबाउट क्या होगा? अब ये जो बॉडी है ये बेंड होगा। ठीक है, कैसे बेंड होगा? लोड इनटू परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस, लोड इज P इनटू परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस मींस दिस मच डिस्टेंस, this is already given 10 plus this is how much? Entire is 2t, so this much distance will be 2t/2, so P into 10 plus 2t/2 will create bending in the given problem also। आया समझ में? Hello.
Yes sir.
Fine. So from the problem I came to know that this is a problem of combined loading. Due to application of this load P, tensile stress is acting in the link. That tensile stress is making the link straight, as well as due to this load P, bending of the link is also happening along this neutral axis. So this you have to identify by looking at the problem. It will not be given to you directly in the problem that in this problem bending is happening, torsion is happening or tension is happening. You have to see the problem, accordingly you have to identify what is happening, whether it is a problem of combined loading problem or only a single, with the help of single load only single stress is acting. Fine. So step number 2 is calculation of tensile and bending stresses due to this load P. Let us find out. So tensile stress is how much? That is nothing but P by cross sectional area A. P is given to me, that is 25 into 10 to the power 3 divided by cross sectional area A. Since it is a rectangular cross section, so area will be T into 2T, which is 2t square. 25 divided by 2 is 125, so it is 12500 by t square Newton per mm square. Why I have kept in terms of t? Because at last I have to find out the value of t. Equation number 1. क्या किसी को कोई डाउट है इक्वेशन नंबर 1 तक? Okay, we also know that in the given problem bending is also happening. So in order to find out the value of bending stress, we know that we have to use the bending equation. From the bending equation, we have this formula, that is bending stress is equal to m into y by I, where I is moment of inertia of the cross section. If I see this here, the cross section is rectangular, and if I take the moment of inertia, it will be how much? 1 by 12 into b into d cube. That means 1 by 12 into t into 2t whole square. That will be my moment of inertia c, 1 by 12 into t into 2t cube. Fine. Next, I need to calculate the value of m, and always remember that I am designing for, will you design your any problem or any machine component for minimum stress or maximum stress? You take any machine component, will you design your machine component for minimum stress or maximum stress?
Maximum stress.
Yes, always you will design your problem for maximum stress. Why? अगर मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेस के लिए आपका कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हो रहा है तो मिनिमम के लिए तो डिजाइन सेफ होगा ही होगा. अगर आपने मिनिमम के लिए डिजाइन कर दिया तो ये गारंटी नहीं देता है कि अगर मिनिमम कंडीशन के लिए आपका डिजाइन सेफ है तो मैक्सिमम के लिए सेफ होगा. नहीं, मैक्सिमम के लिए फेल हो भी सकता है. So always keep in mind, whenever you are designing any problem, you have to design for the maximum condition. So I have to find out the maximum bending moment. That will be nothing but load P into 10 plus 2t by 2. That is T. Fine. P into 10 plus 2t by 2. 2 cancel. Your bending moment becomes, when P is nothing but 25 into 10 to the power 3 in bracket 10 plus T Newton millimeter. After that, what we will do, we will substitute this value of mb in the equation of bending stress. Let us substitute and let's see what value we are getting. Sigma b is equal to mb is nothing but 25 into 10 to the power 3 10 plus t bracket close into y. Y is what? Y is the maximum distance from the neutral axis. This is my neutral axis. So this will be y, that is 2t by 2. 2t by 2, 2 cancel, it will be t divided by moment of inertia. Moment of inertia will be 1 by 12 bd cube. That I know. If I take moment of inertia along x-x axis, that is 1 by 12 into b. b is t into d cube. Your d cube is 2t whole cube. So 1 by 12 t into 2t whole cube. If you solve this expression, you will get the value of bending stress to be 37500 10 plus t divided by t cube Newton per mm square, which is equation number 2. क्या किसी को कोई डाउट है इक्वेशन नंबर 2 में?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, since we have calculated equation number 1, which is tensile stress, we have calculated equation number 2, which is bending stress, and I know that always I have to design my problem for maximum stress. So what will be the maximum stress for this problem? For this problem, maximum stress sigma will be sigma t plus sigma b. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
It will be sigma t plus sigma b. Let us add sigma t plus sigma b, and this maximum stress will be equal to the maximum permissible stress of the problem in order to keep my design safe. होगा कि नहीं होगा? जो ये मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेस जो मैंने अभी निकाला है प्रॉब्लम में, दैट इज सिग्मा टी प्लस सिग्मा बी, ये किसके बराबर होगा? ये बराबर होगा आपका मैक्सिमम परमिसिबल स्ट्रेस ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम जो कि आपने निकाला था फ्रॉम द मटेरियल. होगा कि नहीं होगा? हेलो. Fine. So sigma t plus sigma b is equal to maximum permissible stress sigma p. Sigma t we have calculated 12500 by t square plus sigma b we have calculated, that is 37500 into 10 plus t by t cube, which is equal to sigma permissible, that is 100. Now if you solve this expression, it will come a cubic polynomial. You solve this cubic polynomial, you will get 3 values of t. 2 values are negative, 1 value is positive, and I know that thickness cannot be negative, so you have to ignore those negative values, and your final answer becomes thickness of the link is nothing but equal to 25.44 mm. Since it is difficult to produce any component with dimensions of 2 decimal places, so let us make it an approximate value equal to 26 mm. Since so the dimensions of the cross section are width. Width means this t. This t is how much? This t is equal to 26 mm, and depth. Depth is 2 times of t. That is 2 into 26 mm. That is 52 mm. So this is the required dimension of this link in order to keep your design safe. इससे ज्यादा डायमेंशन का अगर आप लिंक बना दोगे क्रॉस सेक्शन का, आपका डिजाइन फेल हो जाएगा. क्लियर है? कोई डाउट है इस प्रॉब्लम में?
नो सर.
क्लियर?
नो सर.
Okay. We will solve one more problem, and this problem is the unsolved problem of VV Bhandari. There are many problems are there. Remaining problems only you have to practice. You have to practice. Diagram will change. Fine. So practice more and more problems. I am solving one more problem with this. Today we will end this part, that is design of static load part. If time permits, we will start the second and the last part of module number 2, that is theory of failure, or else we will start on it on Monday. Fine. Okay. Let us solve second problem. This you will solve. Fine. I have shown you one sample problem, how we are solving. Now analyze what is happening in this problem and how we will proceed. The problem is, the given figure shows a C clamp. This is a clamp, C clamp, which carries a load P of 25 kilonewton. That means here you are applying a load P of 25 kilonewton at the two jaws of the clamp. Cross section of the clamp is rectangular. It is very much clear from the diagram that cross section is rectangular. Width is T and depth is B. And the ratio of width to thickness, that is B by T, is 2:1. That means it has been given to you that B by T is equal to 2/1. That means B is equal to 2 times of T. Clamp is made up of cast steel material of grade 2040. SUT is equal to 400 Newton per millimeter square. From this term, that is SUT, it is very much clear to me that the material which I have used in order to make this clamp, that material is brittle in nature, because maximum ultimate strength is given to me. Fine. Factor of safety is equal to 4. Determine the dimensions of the cross section of the clamp. Same type of problem. Figure is different. Loading condition is little bit different. So how you will proceed? बोलो कैसे करेंगे solve? बोलो. सेम टाइप का प्रॉब्लम है, बस डायग्राम अलग है और लोडिंग कंडीशन थोड़ा अलग कर दिया है. तो कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे? फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या होगा? फर्स्ट स्टेप इज you have to calculate the maximum permissible stress for this problem. Since this C clamp is made up of cast steel, which is a brittle material, what is the maximum permissible stress that this C clamp can sustain? How I can calculate? I know the formula, that is factor of safety is equal to failure stress by maximum allowable or maximum permissible stress. Since I am dealing with brittle materials, so factor of safety is equal to failure stress. Failure stress will be SUT divided by allowable stress. Cross multiply it. Your allowable stress, which is sigma, is equal to SUT divided by factor of safety. If in the same question number 2, if SYT was given to you, you should have used the first formula to calculate the value of maximum permissible stress. So let us calculate. That is SU sigma permissible is SUT by factor of safety. SUT is equal to 400 divided by factor of safety 4. So the maximum permissible stress of the problem is 100 Newton per mm square. That means while designing this problem, you have to keep in mind that the overall stress value of the given problem should be either equal to or less than 100 Newton per mm square. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. Next, what I have to see? Next step क्या? मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेस निकाल लिया. इस प्रॉब्लम में कितना मैक्सिमम परमिसिबल स्ट्रेस इस प्रॉब्लम में लग सकता है वो मैंने निकाल लिया. सेकेंड स्टेप क्या होगा? सेकेंड स्टेप क्या होगा?
बेंडिंग स्ट्रेस निकालना होगा.
Second step is now you have to analyze by looking at the problem, by looking at the data, what is given to me. कि इस पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम में, दैट मीन्स इस पर्टिकुलर सी क्लैंप में, ड्यू टू दिस लोड P, what all type of stresses are occurring. तो मेरे को आप क्वेश्चन देख के बताओ कि इस पर्टिकुलर सी क्लैंप में कितने कितने टाइप के स्ट्रेस लग सकते हैं. क्या एक ही टाइप का स्ट्रेस लगेगा या एक से ज्यादा टाइप का स्ट्रेस लगेगा? बोलो. दो स्ट्रेस लगेगा. करेक्ट, दो स्ट्रेस लगेगा. कौन कौन सा दो स्ट्रेस लगेगा अब ये भी आप बताओ.
टेंसाइल एंड बेंडिंग स्ट्रेस.
टेंसाइल एंड बेंडिंग लगेगा. करेक्ट, टेंसाइल होगा, बेंडिंग लगेगा. कैसे होगा थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करो कि कहाँ टेंसाइल की वजह से क्या होगा इस क्लैंप का, बेंडिंग से क्या होगा इस क्लैंप का. कैसे पता चला कि टेंसाइल ही लगेगा और बेंडिंग ही लगेगा? दिस इज माई सी क्लैंप. ठीक है, दिख रहा है मेरा हाथ, दिख रहा है? हेलो, कैन यू सी माई हैंड?
हाँ सर.
Okay, this is my C clamp. If I apply a force P like this, if I apply a force P like this, so what is happening in the problem? You are opening the C clamp. This portion and this portion will become vertical due to this load P. That means due to tensile load, due to this load P, a tensile stress is acting, and that tensile stress is opening the C clamp. आया समझ में? हेलो.
हाँ सर.
And bending stress will also act. For that, how it will act? Bending moment, that is P into 140, it will bend the C clamp about this neutral axis. होगा कि नहीं होगा? Bending moment P into this 140 will try to bend this C clamp about this neutral axis. होगा?
हाँ सर.
Fine. So I came to know that in this problem, two type of stresses are acting. One is tensile stress, which is trying to make or which is trying to open the clamp, and second one is bending stress, which is trying to bending the C clamp about this neutral axis. Let us find out those two things. So first is tensile stress, that is nothing but P by A. P is given in the problem, that is 25 kilonewton. So 25 into 10 to the power 3 divided by cross sectional area. Since it is a rectangular cross section, so area will be B into T. B into T. And in the question it has been given to you that B by T is equal to 2 by 1. So B is equal to 2 times of T. So in place of B, you can substitute 2T. So it will become 2t into t, that is 2t square. 25 divided by 2 is 125. So final expression of sigma t becomes 12500 divided by t square Newton per mm square. Let it be equation number 1. Similarly, due to application of this load, bending stress is also happening in this problem, and I know by bending equation, bending stress is given by bending moment mb into y by I, and bending, since I also know that I have to get the maximum bending stress. Why? Because I will be designing for maximum stress. So for that I need to get the maximum bending moment, and that will be nothing but load P into this distance 140. After that you can check if sagging is happening, you can take the bending moment positive. If hogging is happening, you can take the bending moment negative. In this case, about this neutral axis, P into 140 will create a sagging bending moment, which is a positive bending moment. So MB max is equal to P into 140. P is 25 into 10 to the power 3 into 140, which is nothing but 35 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm. Now I know what will be the value of I. I, since it is rectangle, so it will be 1 by 12 into B. 1 by 12 into this B into this cube. That is T cube. That means T into B cube. T into B cube. And what is the value of Y? Y is half of the neutral axis. That means if this distance is B, so this length will be B by 2. Substitute all these values in the equation of bending stress. That is sigma B is equal to MB into Y by I. So after substituting, if you solve the expression, you will get the value of bending stress to be 5250000 divided by T cube Newton per mm square. Fine. Next step is what? Now the total stress in the problem will be how much? Will be tensile stress sigma T plus the bending stress sigma B, which will be equal to the total permissible stress of the problem in order to make my design safe. So let us do it. Sigma permissible is equal to sigma T plus sigma B. Sigma T already you have calculated, that is this value, plus sigma B already you have calculated, that is this value. Add these two expressions, solve it, again you will get a cubic expression. You have to remove the negative roots, you have to take the positive root. Once you take the positive root, that value comes out to be 38.55 mm. If thickness T is equal to 38.55 mm, then what will be the value of depth B? Depth B is nothing but 2 times of T given in the expression. So 2 into 38.55 mm, that is 77.11 mm. So these are the two dimensions which a designer can make, maximum dimensions which the designer can take in order to keep this clamp perfectly safe from failure. Is it clear? Is the question clear? Any doubt? कोई डाउट है किसी को?
No, sir.
Okay. So similar type of problems you can find in the book of V.B. Bhandari, that is chapter number 4. Fine. So try to solve those problems, solved problems, unsolved problems. You can expect such kind of problems in examination from design of static load part. Clear? ठीक है? Okay. Let us move towards my next topic and the last topic of module number 2. That is theories of failure under static load. Now, when a body is subjected to different types of static load, it can be a combination of static load or it can be a single kind of static load acting in the body. Then there are different scientists, they have discovered some theories that when a body is subjected to different type of static load, then how that body can fail. How that body can fail. Based on those data, based on those experiments which scientists have done, they come out to know that there are total 5 different theories of failure are available. On the basis of these 5 different theory of failure, anybody will fail. Those different theory of failures are: first, maximum principal or normal stress theory. It is also known as Rankine's theory. Why? Because Rankine has discovered this theory. Second one is maximum shear stress theory. It is also known as Guest theory or Tresca's theory. That is name of the scientist who has discovered this theory. Third theory is maximum principal strain theory, which is also known as Saint Venant theory. Fourth one is your maximum strain energy theory or Hayes theory. And the last one is your maximum distortion energy theory, which is also known as Henke's and von Mises theory. This topic is very important from GATE point of view. Fine. You will find one question each and every year from this topic. Very important topic. Fine. But in your syllabus, that means in your current semester syllabus, only the first one, that is Rankine theory, the second one, Guest or Tresca's theory, and the fifth one, Henke's and von Mises theory is there. Second, third, and fourth theory is not there in your syllabus, but all the theories are there in your GATE syllabus. So when I will be covering in the next semester, when I will be taking your GATE classes, there I will discuss this second, third, and fourth theory in detail. At present, we will be focusing on first, second, and fifth theory of failure. Clear? कोई डाउट है किसी को? Hello. Fine. Okay. So I don't think I will be able to complete these theory of failure in today's class because it is a little bit big. Some derivations are there. We have to do those derivations. We have to plot the graphs and we have to solve some problems on these theories of failure. So what we will do is that I will start this theory of failure in the next class, that is on Monday. Till that time, if you are having any problem in today's lecture, you may ask, or else you can give your attendance in the chat box and you can leave the meeting. Thank you. I am here for 5 minutes. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me in today's lecture or whatever lectures we have covered starting from the first day, or else you can leave the meeting. Thank you. And we will meet again today at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. for design lab class.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I hope all of you are having that software ANSYS.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Then you can do one thing. Abhishek, are you having?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Abhishek and Preetham, I think they are having. Asif, are you having that software?
No, sir.
Okay. Abhishek and Preetham is having. You can contact Abhishek and Preetham. And Abhishek, Preetham, you think how you can give these softwares to these people, because thing is that here I will show you how we are solving, what we are clicking, but if you won't practice, अगर आप प्रैक्टिस नहीं करोगे तो आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा कैसे मैंने नोड बनाया, कैसे मैंने एलिमेंट को डिफाइन किया, कैसे मैंने एलिमेंट पे लोड लगाया, कैसे मैं एनालिसिस कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है. So by that time what you can do is that you can note down today whenever I will be showing you the analysis part, you can note down in your copy step by step process. Fine. That algorithm
Sir,
part.
बोल रहा हूँ कंप्यूटर सपोर्ट नहीं करेगा मेरा. वही बहुत तो लैग कर करके चलता है.
ट्राई करके देखो, अगर सपोर्ट करता है तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं तो फिर जब कॉलेज खुलेगा उस केस में ही फिर आप कर सकते हो. क्योंकि देखो मेन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मुझे आता है, मैं तो यहाँ पे करके तुमको दिखा दूंगा कि एक बीम है, बीम कैसे बेंड हो रहा है, ठीक है, बीम के बीच में क्या हो रहा है, सब मैं करके यहाँ पे दिखा दूंगा. मेन है आपको सीखना पड़ेगा। यहाँ तो मैं करूंगा कि स्टेप 1 ये है, स्टेप 2 ये होगा, स्टेप 3 ये होगा। तो जब तक आप करोगे नहीं तब तक आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि जब आप करने जाओगे तब आपको समझ में आएगा कि भाई ये तो नहीं हो पा रहा है, यहाँ तो कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, यहाँ तो कुछ मिसिंग चीज है, तब बहुत क्वेश्चन आएगा आपको। ठीक है, तो अभी के लिए, क्योंकि अभी जैसा सिचुएशन है, अभी जैसे मेरे पास जो सॉफ्टवेयर है तो मैं दे भी नहीं, मैं कैसे दूंगा, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। बट यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट जीपी सर, जीपी सर, क्योंकि मुझे इसका इंस्टॉलेशन पार्ट मुझे पता नहीं है कैसे इंस्टॉल करते हैं, तो जीपी सर को आता है, तो मैंने जीपी सर से इंस्टॉल किया था। तो यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट जीपी सर, इफ जीपी सर कैन गिव यू द लिंक और समथिंग लाइक दैट। उनसे आप आज बात करके देख लो, इस वीक के एंड तक अगर हो जाता है आपके पास तो आपको इजी हो जाएगा। फाइन, और एल्स व्हाट यू
ओके
कैन डू इज दैट, तुम लोग क्या कर सकते हो कि स्टेप बाय स्टेप तुम लोग लिख सकते हो कि क्या एल्गोरिदम, एक तो ये एल्गोरिदम के ऊपर बेस्ड है कि पहले आपको ये क्लिक करना है, सेकंड आपको यू हैव टू क्लिक दिस आइकन, थर्ड यू हैव टू क्लिक दिस आइकन फॉर जनरेटिंग मेश, फॉर जनरेटिंग मॉडल एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स। तो अभी आपको कॉपी में लिख के रखना पड़ेगा। सो आप लोगों को मैं 1 वीक का ये वीक का टाइम दे रहा हूँ, आप जीपी सर से बात करके देखो, अगर वो आप लोग को भेज सकते हैं उसका लिंक, उसका प्रोसेस देख लो, और एल्स फिर जब कॉलेज खुलेगा हम लोग तभी फिर तुम लोग उसको कर सकते हो। और फिर ये क्लास का कोई मतलब नहीं रहेगा, मुझे आता है मैं यहाँ पे करके दिखा दूंगा, आप लोग को पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि कैसे क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है, तो कोई मतलब नहीं रहेगा इस क्लास का। फिर आ रहा है बात समझ में?
हाँ सर।
यस
Okay,
सर
okay, 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 fine. Then I am leaving the meeting, and bye. And one more thing, please join that Google Classroom of Design Practice Lab, because all the materials of of the lab I will be posting in that classroom. I will not mix it with the theory part. थ्योरी पार्ट का गूगल क्लासरूम अलग है, लैब पार्ट का गूगल क्लासरूम अलग है। तो लैब पार्ट का जो भी लेक्चर होगा मैं वहां पे डालूंगा, मैं थ्योरी पार्ट में मिक्स नहीं करूंगा। ठीक है, तो वो आप लोग ज्वाइन कर लो, एंड वी विल मीट एट 1 PM, एंड लेट्स सी हाउ द थिंग्स प्रोसीड। ठीक है, एंड बाय टुडे एंड आई विल अपलोड दिस लेक्चर इन योर गूगल क्लासरूम, यू कैन चेक इट।
थैंक यू सर
Okay, okay, okay. And one more thing, at presently I am taking GATE classes of 4th year students, and in GATE classes I am discussing this machine design part, complete machine design part. ठीक है, अगर आप लोग चाहो तो आप लोग वो लेक्चर्स भी देख सकते हो, लेकिन उसके लिए आप फिर आपको मेरा YouTube चैनल सब्सक्राइब करो, उसमें आपको मिल जाएगा। ठीक है, मैं आपको अलग से उसमें ज्वाइन नहीं करा रहा हूँ उनके गूगल क्लासरूम में, तो आप YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लो, वहां पे आपको मशीन डिजाइन का गेट लेक्चर्स मिल जाएगा। तो साथ तो क्या होगा, आपका साइड बाय साइड आपका गेट का तैयारी भी होते जाएगा मशीन डिजाइन का। अभी आप ताजा ताजा पढ़ रहे हो, आपको समझ में आते जाएगा पार्ट। ठीक है, मशीन डिजाइन 2 वाला पार्ट आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि वो आप पढ़ोगे नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर में। डिजाइन 1 का जो पार्ट है वो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा एटलीस्ट। ठीक है, तो उसके लिए आप जो YouTube चैनल है मेरा उसका सब्सक्राइब कर लो, उसमें आपको मिल जाएगा। वीकली एक लेक्चर रहता है, दैट इज थर्सडे को ही रहता है 3 से 4, वो मैं 12 बजे के अंदर, रात 12 बजे के अंदर मैं अपलोड कर देता हूँ चैनल पे। ठीक है, मैं यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ चैनल का नाम, यू कैन सर्च। अभी तक 4 लेक्चर्स हो चुके हैं, और जो मैं अभी आप लोग को पढ़ा रहा हूँ यही चीज मैंने वहां पे कराया है, प्रीवियस ईयर्स गेट का प्रॉब्लम मैंने कराया है वहां पे, आप लोग चेक कर सकते हो। This is the name of that channel. ठीक है, okay, thank you, then we will again meet at 1 PM.
थैंक यू सर
Okay.
ओके सर।